welcome to another episode of the LifeHugger Podcast. Here with me today is the first guest to return to the LifeHugger Podcast, Kevin!
Round 2!
And today we're going to be talking about privacy. More specifically, privacy in China.
China, number
because
one.
Because Kevin has been living in Shanghai for the last...
10 years, since 2009.
Years. That's a really long time.
Yeah.
Since we graduated high school, we moved to Shanghai together, and you've been there since.
Yes.
I'm super curious to get to know this social credit score system because I've read about it on the news, and they say it's like this kind of new system, right, that they're introducing, and it will be fully implemented by 2020, supposedly to track all the activities of the citizens to punish you or reward you.
That's
is that
true.
how it is?
I see it on this app on my phone. It's called Alipay. Alipay is owned by Alibaba. When you pay for things, you can use Alipay. For example, I buy train tickets, my online shopping, I pay with Alipay.
Yeah.
I do my bills with Alipay. And there's this little app inside of Alipay called...
It's an app within an app.
An app within an app, exactly, called Sesame Credit. And then when you click Sesame Credit, you get a score. My score right now...
So this is the social credit score.
This is my social credit score. 614. It says good, yo.
Oh!
That's me, 614.
But if we look at those white dots, it's only halfway. So I'm guessing maybe the full score is what?
Let's see.
1,000 to 1,200?
It could be.
So you are in the 50th percentile.
I'm right in the middle, as you can see here. Top score, as I can see, is 950.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not doing too bad. It says good, so I like good. Good is good.
Good is good.
Good is good.
And do you know what goes into it? Or like, how did you get this good score? Does everybody start at a perfect score and then you get deducted? Because damn, then you would have been a pretty bad citizen.
Yeah.
Or do you start at 0 and then you slowly build your score up?
I don't think you start at 0. I think babies might start at 0, but I think there's enough information about me as a citizen on the web that they probably give you like a standard, let's say 500.
Let's say 700, and then you dropped from 700.
So I'm not really sure how it started, but one of the things that the app tells you is that if you pay your bills on time, it will increase your score. So by that logic, I turned on autopay on the app so that I do pay my bills on time, because otherwise I'm just a mess. Since I've been doing that, it's gone from 604 to 614. So
nice. A solid 10 points.
A solid 10 points.
You're trying to get your score better. Do you know what you get for getting a better score?
Not too clearly, but one of the perks that I do know is Hello Bike. It's a shared bike service. Usually you have to pay a deposit before you can use the bikes, and then you pay like a small amount every time you ride a bike.
Yeah.
But since my social credit's so dope, I get to ride the bikes for free.
That's a pretty good perk.
Yeah. So Hello Bike is owned by Alipay as well.
Okay.
So it's within that ecosystem.
So from what I read online, and this was from Business Insider, it says that the exact methodology is a secret, but examples of infractions include bad driving, smoking in non-smoking zones, buying too many video games. Why do you think the government does not want people to play video games? I mean, esports is a rising industry. It doesn't seem like it's a bad thing.
Video games, I feel like, gets a bad rap in China. There are
like all
people that have died from exhaustion or starvation from playing video games. I am an avid PUBG gamer, PUBG, but I'm not like hardcore. Like,
I don't know if you want to say that out loud, because then tomorrow when you check your score, it's gonna be 550.
Also, as I know it, recently PUBG has been bought by Tencent, a Chinese game company. The Chinese version is limited to play for 6 hours or 8 hours. So if you're on the game
at a time,
so if you're on the game for 6 hours straight or 8 hours, I'm not sure, which I've never done. You get locked out for a certain amount of time.
Other than that, you could also get points deducted by posting fake news online.
That's fair.
That's fair, but I could also see this being, I mean, what is real news in China? Like, what is news in China? Maybe fake news outside of China. So then this could be a way of controlling media even tighter. Again, this is from that Business Insider article. So some of the consequences include banning you from flying or taking the train. They could throttle your internet speeds.
Oh,
damn.
So maybe you can't communicate with your terror cell if that's what you were doing.
Well, that's a pretty extreme case. What if it's just like you've been playing online games too much? Right. And then they're like, Actually, okay, now we're kind of making assumptions. But what is written is just throttling your internet speeds, banning you or your kids from the best schools, stopping you from getting the best jobs. Mm-hmm. And this is a really sad one. Getting your dog taken away. So in the eastern Chinese city of Jinan, they started enforcing a social credit system for dog owners in 2017, whereby pet owners get points deducted if their dog is walked without a leash or causes public disturbance.
So I'm looking at the app with the credit score. If you have above 650 points, you get to try the items that they're trying to sell you for free.
Whoa!
For 7 days. Because your credit is high, they trust you with taking care of these items before you even pay.
Because like being a Google employee, you get access to like beta products that they're testing out.
Sure, but these are
so it's kind of like that. But this is like a wooden chair.
And a treadmill.
And a necklace with purple beads.
A cabinet.
Sunglasses.
A watch, a washing machine.
A necklace with like this blue crystal.
Kind of random things.
I mean, those things don't look very attractive.
Yeah, that's true. But
it's like
also, you can rent electronics for free. Maybe not.
That's pretty cool. Do people talk about these scores? Like, I wonder when you use like Tinder or whatever Tinder equivalent, like do people say, you know, I am a dog person. My score is 700. I like to walk along the beach.
I've definitely never disclosed my score to anyone that I was dating or trying to date.
Do people try to ask you what your score is?
The only time that I have ever discussed my score with my friends was a couple of weekends ago. So we were just out at a bar and somebody was like, hey guys, look at my score. It's so high.
Yeah. I've done that, but with like Uber scores.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
before
it's kind of
Uber
silly
closed
just
down.
like that. My score was, I think, second lowest among my friends. One thing that we noticed is that the Chinese people had much higher scores than all the foreigners. At least like 50 or 60 points higher than the highest foreigner score.
It seems like people don't really know what contributes to these scores.
We do not. Alipay also has something called Ant Farm. So when you use Alipay to pay as well as your step count.
Like if you walk a lot?
Yes, if you walk a lot and you buy or purchase delivery food and you ask for
no utensils,
you get points on Ant Farm. Or you get energy, that's what they call it. What Ant Farm does is when you collect energy, you collect enough energy, they will actually plant a tree in the real world for you.
Oh, cute.
The fun thing about it is that you can steal energy from your friends, which makes it social.
Gamifies it.
Gamify, yeah.
But then does planting a tree contribute to your social credit score?
I hope so.
Okay, so there seems like there's not a lot of clarity on...
There's not a lot of clarity, that's for sure.
Let's say you were on a first date with somebody and somehow this came up and you found out that this person has a score of like 250.
Ooh.
Would you go on a second date?
My first question would be, how many bodies in the closet do you have? But actually,
then that might be kind of suspicious.
Yeah,
and then even if you
suspicious.
ask her, like, why do you have such a low score? And she was like, oh, I didn't even realize. You might be
she
like...
She probably knows. I feel like, most of the people that I know are within like 500 to 700.
Okay. So you also don't have any like stellar friends.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm not a stellar guy myself, so.
That might be suspicious too, right? It's like,
maybe.
who do they work for?
Maybe if
to get scores like that.
Right. Maybe if I hung out with people in the 900 range, maybe
your score would go up.
Or their score would go down.
Probably their score would go down.
Yeah, that's why they don't want to be friends.
I've read that Shanghai is the city that has the most advanced face recognition surveillance systems, that there are tens of thousands, if not more, cameras across the city. And I saw how they track people jaywalking, and then they might shame you.
Yes, that's a real
on
thing.
Videos. How does that work?
I've never been shamed myself.
Maybe you've been shamed and you didn't see it.
Maybe at bus stops on the road where you usually have advertising space. Sometimes it'll switch and then it'll just have pictures of people crossing the street.
And because your face is connected to all your other information, like phone number and stuff,
Right.
They can notify you by text saying, hey, you jaywalked, now you have to pay a fine.
So another thing that's interesting about China is whenever anyone lands in the airport in China, everyone gets their face scanned and fingerprints. If you're even transiting, you are also in the database.
Does this make you feel safe, thinking that people can't get away with crimes?
For the most part, yes.
Are you just saying this so your social score goes up? Yes!
I do feel safer. I mean,
Okay.
like, in general, Shanghai is a pretty safe place to walk around, and
Yeah, true.
there's not a lot of crime anyway. You just have to be careful about talking about borderline illegal things
Right.
in public or online. It does make you feel safer if somebody wants to do something illegal to you or hurt you.
Yeah.
You know that they aren't able to get away with it.
A lot of times outside of China, when we hear about these things, the immediate reaction is like, oh my God, the government is invading people's privacy. There was some protest in the UK somewhere because I think in like Glasgow, they started using facial recognition cameras in the city, and people were really not happy about it. The main like arguments that we just found on their website was gross invasion of privacy.
I feel like if you're not doing anything really crazy or
Yeah.
dissenting against the government, starting a revolution, things like that, it should be a way to keep you safe.
It's interesting though, because I think even like how you talk about it, discussions you have with your friends, it doesn't seem like people don't feel particularly
Invaded?
invaded. You know, you don't feel strongly against it.
No, I don't feel strongly against it in China. When you have a problem, you call 110. Usually the police will show up within 5 to 10 minutes. For the most part, the police are very good at their job. For example, traffic police, they all wear body cams with microphones. This one time I was in a taxi, and Shanghai just implemented the rule where when you take a left turn, you have to turn on your turn signal before you make the turn at a intersection. So because it was a new rule, my driver didn't know that. He made the left turn without turning on his turn signal, and he was stopped by the police.
Yeah.
The police then proceeded to explain to him what he had done wrong. The police turned off his body cam for a second to tell the driver to tell him that he had honked his horn before turning left instead of the turn signal, so that the driver could get away with a warning.
Right.
He turned his body cam back on and asked the driver, "Did you honk your horn before making the left turn?" And the driver said, "Yes, I did." So the police let the driver get away with a warning because it
Aw.
was the first day Shanghai was implementing this rule.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. I guess because with like the traffic camera, it would be able to tell the light, but then it can't tell if you honk.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then honking is like a signal already.
Yeah.
That's nice. So I guess on top of the technology, it's not like the human aspect of it is completely
Yes.
taken away.
So yeah, surveillance cameras, CCTVs, they don't tell the whole story. The law enforcement, they're still doing their jobs.
I think privacy and how people value privacy is very different in different cultures. Like when you watch movies, you know, like Disney movies of like Western cultures, it seems like even at home, parents respect their children's privacy. When their child is like 8 years old in their room, the parents would knock. Stacy, can I come in? You know? And like in Asian households, or at least in our household, when you're a kid,
It just, ching chong ling long. How's it going?
not exactly like that, but like you wouldn't even close your door. Or even if you close your door, your mother walks in, she walks in because that's her house, right? You can't be like, "Mother, respect my privacy," you know?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think in some places there would be more upheaval when you talk about putting face recognition and stuff like that. And then what is the reason? The reason just ends at, well, that is invading my privacy.
Yeah. I guess you have something there, because I feel like, for example, in Indonesia, I think it's a very caring thing to be like, if you're leaving, you're like, oh, where are you going? Like, get home safe or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whereas I had a teacher from the UK who, it was kind of rude to, when someone was leaving the room, be like, where are you going?
Yo, I did that. So my neighbors, really nice. They're American. And then one time I saw them leaving as I was going in, and automatically I was just like, oh, hey, where are you guys going? And then they were like, we're just grocery shopping. And then after that, I was like, that is a weird question. Like, why did I ask this family, like, where they were going? You know?
I feel you. Maybe it's like the language and the culture, but I mean, for example, for Indonesians, I feel like it's like a sign of caring. Actually, as opposed to invading someone's privacy.
Right. Yeah, but then in English, it's kind of weird, right?
Where are you going?
Like, why the fuck do you care?
Exactly.
Anyway.
Cool.
With that, we have come to the end of Kevin's second appearance on the LifeHugger Podcast. Thank you for coming back, and thanks for listening. Bye.